I wanted to take a moment and give you my first initial impressions of Windows 10 Technical Preview. Now I must stress that this is a preview and is very shaky. Now what do I mean by that? Well, until I managed to get into the lens magnification mode that you see here, I had some real trouble using the magnifier. It was very janky. You can see a cursor's left behind here. If we go down to the Start menu,
Start, selected, search window, search text box, editing.
Over here you've got your Windows
Xbox, 2 of 13. Search, 1 of 13.
You've got your Windows 8 live tiles.
Search group. Expand or collapse the Start menu, custom.
So we can
expand or news.
We can expand the Start menu.
Start, note, magnifier, 9 of 10. XPS viewer. Tooltip, XPS viewer.
This is the closest thing that I can get to what I've got with Zoom Text on my Mac. And you're probably thinking, well, Zoom Text is already available on Windows, isn't it? So let's get out of the Start menu and I'll show you exactly what's going on. What I'm going to do
Restore Start menu.
Is I'm going to go into File Explorer.
Store File Explorer button. File Explorer window, desktop.
And we're going to go to Downloads. Now, and you also notice, by the way, that I'm having some jerkiness. This is actually not a bad setup I've got. I've got 32 gigs of a virtual hard disk,
Downloads window, downloads.
Which I've got plenty of space for storage, I think, for beta testing. I've got install files for Magic 12, JAWS 16, and 2 different versions of Zoom Text. If I launch Zoom Text,
Leaf node selected 10.109.118.
Okay, so this comes up as your usual user account control.
User account control dialog. No button. Alt+N.
I'm going to click yes. And here we've got our
Zoom Text 10.1 install Shield Wizard dialog for Zoom Text 10.1.
So we're going to go ahead and click
Cancel button. Next.
I'm going to click Next.
Alt+N. Program Get Help Online button. Alt+G.
So what we have here is
Downloads Program Compatibility Assistant dialog. This program has compatibility issues. Zoom RE². Zoom Text. You can get help on the Microsoft website. If a solution exists, follow the instructions to try to fix the problem.
okay, and apparently
Get help online. Close button.
so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this threat here first. Hang on. Threat was detected and blocked. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of this. It's possible there might be a file in Zoom Text that Avast is blocking. I don't know. I know that Avast does have problems with Zoom Text.
Down M12.07002 ENU-.
But as you can see, it couldn't run. Same thing's true of Magic and JAWS. They're both going to come up with the following. If I click on JAWS, or Magic.
Downloads window. Selected. M12. Magic Setup Package.
Please contact Freedom Scientific for a version that will run on your operating system.
So if you didn't hear the Freedom Scientific voice, what we have here basically is you cannot install this product on this version of Windows. So
Magic Setup Package dialog. OK button. Downloads window. File Explorer window. Close button.
So other than those shortcomings, this is essentially alpha software. It is not meant for everyday use. I primarily installed this just to see if I could get my assistive tools to run on it. Apparently, there are so many changes under the hood between Windows 8 and Windows 10 that the answer is no. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this down.
Start. Selected. Search window. Search text.
Oh, before I do, actually, before I get out of here, I want to show you something really cool.
Task view. Desktop. Pane.
You can actually add virtual, you can add multiple desktops, which is rather interesting because if we get out of here, and I go ahead and hit, see, we've got this on the Macintosh, and we've had this in the Macintosh since 2008. So it's really interesting that 7 years later, Microsoft finally sees the advantage of doing this.
Task switching window.
So if I say add desktop, I can now switch between the two desktops.
File Explorer button.
So if I were to open, let's open File Explorer. So we got File Explorer open. Let me go to the task switcher. And as you can see, this is another example of the early release because things are kind of jerky in here. So we go to the other desktop. You notice we have one desktop with the File Explorer. We can go to the other desktop that's blank, and I can launch Firefox. So we got Firefox. I can go back to the task switcher, and we can go back to the desktop with File Explorer. So it's really gonna be nice when this is all said and done, when this is finally finished. But like I said, it's alpha release software, definitely not for the faint of heart. You have to know what you're doing. And this is why I would recommend, if you do want to take a look, be in the know about the following. First of all, there is absolutely no way, for the moment, that the assistive technology from Freedom Scientific and AI Squared, at least, I haven't tried GW Micro, but I'll bet it's probably the same story, it won't run. And that actually answers one big question, which is, how much of a change between Windows 8 and Windows 10 is there going to be to get this technology to work? And the answer from the sound of things is quite a lot. Now, we're not expecting a full launch until October. So between now and then, obviously, things should be up and running. But if anybody out there wants to give this a shot, and they use the assistive technology software like I do, I'm telling you right now, don't. If you can get by with Narrator, that'd be fine. Let me just close this out here.
Close button.
And go into the task switcher.
Task view. Task switch file.
Interestingly enough, this task switcher, I cannot get to replace, or my guess is it has replaced. I can't get the Alt-Tab command to work. So I don't know if that's just not working, or if it's broken, or if that's something they plan to leave out altogether.
Search window. Search window.
In my early, because I've only had this for 2 days, in my early first look, I would have to say this is a hybrid of Windows 7 and Windows 8. If you're owning Windows 7, don't even bother upgrading to Windows 8. I would say wait for Windows 10. One of the other really cool things is, if you're a Windows 7 user, you're probably used to this universal search. Well, if we get out of the Start menu, we get a universal search that'll go on to the web. Think of it like a spotlight type of deal on OS 10. So I can search the web, and I can say Microsoft Windows, and we can take a look here. Let's see. Windows updates. See apps settings. We got web, so we could click that, windows.microsoft.com.
www.bing.com/as/API.
And it brings up our result. What's this? We're trying to understand. Oh, see, I can't. Now I'm having that problem again. I can't move my arrow. Okay, so like I said, if you use assistive technology, you should be very careful. This is not for the faint of heart. I would definitely recommend urging caution. If you can, run this in a virtual machine. By under no circumstances are you to run it on a mainstream everyday machine. It is too dangerous. Even with Avast in place, you can see that none of this is due to malware, because Avast did block that thread, as you saw. And once I'm out of here, everything's fine. And we got another notification, and it just disappeared. But because of the jerkiness, I couldn't get to it in time. So obviously, there's a long way to go. If you do use assistive software, I'd recommend combining narrator and magnifier, because this is the biggest arrow that I can get. This is the biggest cursor size I can get. So let's shut this down.
Search window. Power off.
Which, by the way, the power off button is now in the upper right of our start. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down. Shutting down. See the arrow reverted back to normal. That black arrow again. It said that it was the biggest. I don't know how to make it bigger. Maybe there's something I'm missing. But the point is that Windows 10 first look, definitely a long way to go. But if you're a Windows 7 user and you want to get a new PC, I would say wait for Windows 10 hands down. This is, as you know, they say Windows 7 is what Windows Vista should have been. On first glance, Windows 10 is what Windows 8 should have been. What are your thoughts? Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day.